A northbound turn onto Cortland Avenue. Another suspect jumping out, running for it. They're going to take him into custody in short order here, and the driver is continuing once again.
Welcome to Viral Twist. Today's story: a car with no tires, a driver with too much confidence, and passengers escaping like it's musical chairs with flashing lights in the background. Let's dive into the madness.
Bailing, and the car continues. Two suspects jumping out of the car, and now the continuation of this pursuit on Hoover Street off of Bonnie Bray. LAPD making the right turn with this vehicle, apparently a stolen vehicle out of LAPD's Southwest Division, traversing his way through the downtown area, and now heading back towards the 10 freeway, southbound Alvarado from Hoover Street, heading back underneath the 10 freeway here past Westlake Avenue. Northbound Alvarado into oncoming lanes of traffic. A dark-colored vehicle, apparently a stolen car, blowing right through these intersections at a high rate of speed. A number of officers on his tail doing about 60 miles per hour through surface streets here, trying to set up for a spike strip if the opportunity presents itself, but this person is now deviating from that circle he was doing in the Pico Union area, now making his way onto 11th from Olympic and continuing through these residential neighborhoods here. At least the driver still in the car. We saw two people jump out of the vehicle. Again, LAPD zigzagging their way through this part of town, making their way back onto Olympic Boulevard, back towards downtown LA. Since we've been over this pursuit, at least two suspects have jumped out of the vehicle. We believe that at least one of those suspects is in custody, and presumably LAPD is in the process of gaining more intel on this driver and trying to get some more information on what they are working with here, who they are dealing with. They can't go off of the vehicle license plate because it appears to be a stolen vehicle, and so they have limited knowledge about the driver, but once again, you can see he is posing a real danger to all of these other motorists as he speeds down Venice Boulevard at upwards of 50 miles per hour. A spike strip, it missed. A failed spike at Venice and Bonnie Bray, continuing westbound Venice Boulevard. A northbound turn onto Cortland Avenue. Another suspect jumping out, running for it. They're going to take him into custody in short order here, and the driver is continuing once again. So now three people have jumped out of this vehicle, and the driver continuing the pursuit. Again, this is a stolen vehicle, and we're told by sources that there is also a felony warrant for the driver of this car. So it's more than just grand theft auto. There are additional charges that this suspect is wanted for, and there's a reason there are so many officers dedicated to this pursuit. We're going to see what those other wants are, but there are additional felony wants for the driver of this vehicle as they continue this pursuit of a stolen vehicle in downtown LA, 50 miles per hour up Alvarado Street. Yeah, another turn here, struggling to make those turns. I think it's just a matter of time before he either decides to jump out of the vehicle or hopefully give himself up here. You can still see occasionally some smoke coming from those rear tires. At least 3 of the 4 tires from our vantage point are almost completely flat, and as you mentioned, he is really going back and forth there. Swimming is a great way to put it as he makes his way again back northbound on Alvarado Street, really doing circles over and over and over on these same exact streets. Not a lot of surprises with this guy. That's allowed them to really execute those spike strips, and he's slowing down ever more slowly here as he continues past Pico up on 11th Street there on Alvarado at about 20 miles per hour. They've done a great job at trying to keep other traffic at bay, but it's a testament to how much resources have been dedicated to this pursuit on the part of the LAPD. They have dedicated a copious number of officers and resources to try and get this person off the road, believed to be armed and dangerous. The vehicle itself said to be stolen, but there are additional felony warrants for the driver of that car, and they have not let up on him at all. All of those units continuing to close in on him from behind as he continues this pursuit now back on Olympic Boulevard. If you recognize these streets, trust your instincts, because we have been here numerous times in the last several minutes, and if you've been following us on ABC7.com for the better part of the last half hour, he is continuing to do circles around these same buildings here just to the west of downtown LA. Between MacArthur Park and downtown LA is where he feels most comfortable, now making his way back towards the 110 freeway on Olympic Boulevard. Yeah, more pedestrians coming out, catching a glimpse of this. You can see them, spectators trying to see this pursuit come past their neighborhood here, but there are risk factors, and unfortunately, well, fortunately, it's a late hour, so we're not dealing with, daytime traffic. The only more ideal situation would be if he was on the freeway. Look at that, more spike strips. He's going to drive around that spike, but there's not much tire left to spike. I mean, there's pretty much it's pretty much game over at this point. He's on his last few miles here, but the only thing better or safer would be on the freeway. Right now, though, that doesn't seem to be an option for him. He has bypassed every opportunity to get on the freeway, and he is just crawling now up Alvarado Street, once again choosing the same streets over and over again, which has allowed them to set up at intersections ahead of him, not only to set up spike strips, but also to close off additional traffic from getting in his way. They're really doing a public service by closing down those intersections, because there is obviously an armed and dangerous person behind the wheel here. He poses a real threat to the community, even at this late hour, and now he is back on Olympic Boulevard as that rim continues to light up the neighborhood. Doing repeated circles along the same exact streets. It's telling that even as the pursuit has slowed down to 20-25 miles per hour, coming really close to those parked cars, it's telling that they have not given the go-ahead for a pit maneuver. It seems like relatively good conditions for a pit maneuver to put the final nail in the coffin of this pursuit. However, there must be a reason why they are not opting for that pit maneuver. They're continuing to let this drag on, despite the fact that it has slowed down tremendously, compliments of those spike attempts that have successfully flattened almost all four tires, and those units are continuing to follow at a close distance. They could easily pit him if they wanted to, but for some reason they have not. And in any event, that pursuit now coming to a grinding halt here, it looks like, along Alvarado Street, just shy of Olympic Boulevard, and this might be it. He's pushing the pedal to the metal, and the car is not cooperating. It looks like this has come to a dead stop on Alvarado Street. Officers getting out of their cruisers with their guns drawn, and they're going to start barking orders at him pretty quickly here. We'll see if there's any cooperation or any signs of cooperation. The very first step is going to be looking for those hands to come out the window. Will he shut off the car? Will he pop open that door? They're going to instruct him very carefully. You can see some movement coming from that driver's side door, but that door is still tightly shut, and it looks like he is. It looks like he stopped gassing it. I don't see those wheels spinning, but the car is still on. I'm sorry. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're ready to make that felony arrest, but this could happen relatively quickly, or it could turn into a drawn-out standoff if he refuses to come out, and that would mean a whole separate set of strategies taking place on the part of the LAPD. Let's just hope that the suspect just gives himself up here, continuing to see movement. They're going to be looking for those hands. Here comes the driver's side door, popping open. Might be ready to surrender here. You could see him maybe communicating. Hands not in the air. He's out of the vehicle. There's the hands. Hands up in the air. His back facing those officers, stepping away from the vehicle slowly, and now it appears he is giving himself up. They are not going to take any chances with him. They are going to continue to instruct him to do a number of things, and eventually he'll be proned out here in just a second. He's walking away from them for some reason. A female passenger stepping out of the vehicle, her hands now up in the air. Again, worth reiterating that 3 other suspects jumped out of the back seat of this vehicle earlier in this pursuit. That female passenger now stepping backwards in the direction of those officers as she appears to be cooperating, and this pursuit, fortunately, appears to be coming to a peaceful resolution, not before putting lots of lives in danger tonight with the crazy driving we've seen. It's a miracle nobody's been hurt, but fortunately coming to a peaceful end now as both the driver and the passenger appear to be obeying those commands.